Hello there, you are watching Colton's Connections podcast. This is season 1.
Season 1, episode 2.
Today we have special guests here. Please welcome Mariam and Christine.
Is Healing Hive, Acupuncture and Wellness.
Yeah, I screwed that up. I made a little ad on my first episode because I had the first name. It was just Healing Hive, so I'm going to have to change it. Now it's Healing, what?
Healing Hive, Acupuncture and Wellness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Energetics, is that on there too?
Healing Hive Energetics was what it was before I became an acupuncturist.
Yeah.
And then I switched it over to Acupuncture and Wellness just so people would be able to find me a little bit easier if they were looking for an acupuncturist.
Okay. Okay, we have it all together. Hey, I remember the first name. That's good.
Right, that's
normally.
the important part, yeah.
Tell me more about acupuncture and what it is.
Yeah, acupuncture is an ancient medicine. It's been around for almost 4,000 years. It started off as a form of, just like with a lot of other cultures, there's the medicine person, right? Medicine man, medicine woman. A lot of times they'll enter like a meditative or an altered state of some sort to offer a way to help the person coming to see them healing. As that evolved, people started realizing that they could get relief from their pain by placing hot stones on them or standing by the fire. Yeah, so that started evolving. Acupuncture is under the term traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM. So if you hear me saying that, that's what I'm referring to. So
it originated from China?
From China,
nice.
Yeah, and then spread out to the rest of the Asian
China people. The China culture, they know their stuff out there.
Yeah, so like all the other Asian countries, they have their own versions of acupuncture. Another really popular version is Japanese style acupuncture, and then there's subsects of each type of acupuncture from culture to culture. But acupuncture itself started 4,000 years ago, and when they realized that the warmth was offering some relief, decided to use warm stones on different places. Eventually those stones started getting longer and sharper. They would press a long stone, almost like a finger, into a point to help with the relief of whatever issue they were having. And through trial and error, they started realizing certain points corresponded with alleviating different symptoms.
So like pressure points and all that.
That's where we started getting the acupoints.
Because a lot of people, when they were asking me, like some, I was a skeptic. You remember when I was a skeptic, I was not for it, but
needles, how's this going to help me?
Yeah. And then people, when they think of acupuncture, they're like, how does just random needles sticking in your skin, how does that help?
Yeah, so...
people's first thought, they think of getting a shot. Yeah, they think it's going to be that pain, getting a shot. They think it's going to go all the way into the skin, make you bleed, all that, but...
So with a shot, they're just kind of going wherever in the arm, the leg, the glutes, wherever is a nice, basically chunk of flesh that's going to allow that medicine to get in to the system faster. With acupuncture, though, the acupoints, as they were figuring out what points corresponded with what kind of symptoms, they started noticing there were certain points that all corresponded with one another, and that's where the meridians start coming out and taking place. So our body, the vitality that we have, the energy that we have, we hear this in all different types of cultures. You got good energy, you got good vibes, your prana, your life force, your vitality, that all is translated into qi when we're talking about acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine. So the qi, our vitality, runs through our body along the meridians. And the meridians, they have the different acupoints all along it. So each meridian, the main ones correspond with different organs. And then we have specialty meridians that correspond with specific functions in the body. So It may seem completely unrelated, but you'll have a point up here on your head and down here on your foot, and that's all on the stomach meridian. So all those points, they're going to help that meridian clear out. A lot of them are going to help the stomach itself, and some
they're
of
all
them,
like connected, like aligned.
yeah. And actually, I think in here I might have a picture.
Also,
meridians.
should I take a picture of these and have them pop up on the screen?
Sure.
Okay.
So this little guy here, you can see that he's got some lines on him. Those are the meridians.
Nice.
And different meridians are connected with other meridians. So you've seen the yin yang, right?
Yin yang, yeah.
It's actually yin yang. So
Really?
really, yeah. So yin is like that feminine energy, and yang is the more masculine energy. And each yin meridian pairs up with a yang meridian, and they may seem like they're completely unrelated, but they do end up relating with each other
and working together. Bringing different things to the table.
They a lot of times will connect, so the chi flow will come from one and then start up the next one.
Oh, I see.
So
kind of like when psychics are together, they kind of batter each other up. Yeah, because you know psychics, they all have their own different gift, but they all kind of connect and do for each other.
How we batter each other up and support each other, these different meridians can also support each other. So if there's an injury on one meridian and you can't get to it, you can actually treat the connecting meridian, and it will help treat
nice
the meridian. Yeah. So
you know, that reminds me of so when I was learning polarity massage and I was getting trained in high school, I was doing feet, and I was doing this study where there's all these pressure points on your feet, and if you touch a certain pressure point, if it hurts, that means that part of your body
absolutely reflexology.
Yeah.
It's another piece of TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, where all these different parts of your body act as microcosms of the whole system. So we see that in our feet, in our hands, in our ears, our face. You can really branch down the whole body part by body part.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah.
So, moving on a little bit, do you have those, actually, let me check real quick, hold on. The time, oh, I'm going to do an ad real quick. Is that okay?
Yeah.
We're going to do an ad real quick. This is Harper Lawn Care and Landscape. His phone number is 419-560-2086. Right now, his advertisements should be popping up on the screen, along with some of the pictures and stuff of some of the work he has done. He's a special friend of mine, and he is our ad and sponsor for today. If you're looking for some lawn care and landscaping, again, his phone number is 419-560-2086. That's it.
Awesome.
So if you need help, Avery Lawns Care.
Awesome.
Which I know you guys are workaholics. You'll probably be doing all this stuff yourself. Okay.
Never know. Never know.
Never know.
Yeah. It's always good to have a good landscaper.
Yeah. And he does a lot of good work.
Especially if he's got like a backhoe and other like heavy machinery.
He has
stuff.
all the equipment,
Awesome.
everything you need.
Cool.
So.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Awesome.
In case, you know, the wellness center takes off and
and I won't.
you don't have time. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to go upstairs and grab the mics for... Because it made me mad.
You told me you got into a Temu spending spree.
Yes, I did. Temu, oh my God. So they do this thing, they're like, you get 5 free items. So, but you have to spend X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
So you spend X, Y, and Z. You go to, you know, do the total. You're like, crap, I spent like $80 some and whatever, I get 5 free stuff. Well, then it turns around and
gives you another free award of 5 more free stuff, and it makes you keep spending more. And there's no way to click out of it. So one night, I was high as a kite, and I just kept on spending, 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 and then I bought it all. I woke up next day. I spent over $500 on Temu, and I'm like, I need my money back. I said, you guys, I wasn't in the right mind. You guys fucked me. You told me that I was only gonna have to spend X, Y, and Z, and then it turned into a whole list of things. So, yeah,
Dangerous Temu.
dangerous Temu. Okay, so do you have your phone on you?
My phone's upstairs.
Okay, so what, I'm trying to remember some of the questions people asked that I sent you the text of.
Oh, it's
So I answered some. I remember people wanted to know if it would hurt.
yeah.
Acupuncture doesn't hurt.
No, so when someone comes in
Can I
to
lift your... Oh, I see the green light. I was making sure. Okay.
yeah, when someone comes in to get an acupuncture treatment, I first and foremost want them to feel as safe and comfortable as possible in my office. My number one goal is anyone that comes to see me, they feel nurtured, they feel seen and safe. So that also translates into being needled. And with acupuncture needles, there's something called a guide tube, which I put the needle in the guide tube. This makes it a little bit easier for me to pinpoint exactly where the needle needs to go. And it also stretches out the skin when it is on the skin. So holds it nice and taut and makes it easier for the needle to go into the body.
Mm-hmm.
The time,
And you do it very quickly, I
thank
think.
you. Yeah, I try to be very quick about it.
Yeah.
And with having the skin nice and tight, it allows the needle to go in easily. When you have looser skin, that tends to be when you feel a little bit more sensation.
Yeah.
And
I think the only thing I felt on my shins, little tender,
yeah,
it was a little sting, but it wasn't anything, oh my God, that hurt so bad. It wasn't that. It was just a small little
it should
sting, I think.
you might feel like the initial sensation, it might feel
Yeah.
like
But after that sucker goes in, after that little sting on certain tender spots, you literally feel all of your stress. Like you feel it
You feel the
automatically.
relief.
I mean, it hits you.
yeah.
Wave of euphoria.
Yeah.
Too, with some of the points, like I'll get
Like a wave.
Well, I'll get a feeling of relaxation, and then with some of the points, I'll get a feeling of euphoria where I just feel like almost like an out of body experience with some of the points.
Yes.
I'm
My
so
favorite
relaxed.
point where it like kind of I feel like I felt like I was astral projecting, but I was still in my body. If that makes sense.
Mhm.
When I got the point right here.
Oh yeah, yin
That's
tong.
my favorite
Third
point.
eye. I give that to everyone because even if you come in and it's not your number one concern, we live in such a fast-paced society that everybody needs a moment to just slow down. We're a society that is in our head, and if I can bring people back to their bodies and allow them to relax, that's half the battle right there. So that point I usually put in first with people just to make the rest of the experience a little bit more enjoyable.
And
for
it
them.
worked because remember, I was freaking out. I was screaming. I was being really loud while I was on the table. And as she was putting them in, I was just, when she was putting them in, I was, bitching, but I didn't feel any of it. So when she came to my forehead, she's like, this one will help you settle down. I was like, wait, you're done? Because I didn't know you just put some on my feet.
Yeah, a lot of times people don't even feel the needle. And what I'll do is I usually do this top one here.
Yeah.
If someone's gotten acupuncture before. And that will help calm them down. People a lot of times come in and they're really chatty and I'll put that in and then they're quiet. I'm like, okay, I did half the job right there.
Me.
But since it was your first time receiving acupuncture, I wanted to go into other parts of the body I knew you weren't going to feel it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people, they'll feel the pressure of the guide tube and that's it. Other people, they might feel a little zing, or maybe it feels like a little bit of electricity going down a
Yeah.
limb. In your hands and feet, we have more nerves, so you might feel a little bit more there. But after a couple seconds, it should subside. You know that your chi is really flowing nicely, though, when you start feeling like a buzzy sensation in a point.
Yeah.
Maybe it feels a little heavier, like cool, rushing water. That is a good sign. So it doesn't really hurt. It's a different sensation that might be new to people, but it's nothing like going to the doctor
Mm-hmm.
and getting a shot. It's all very intentional where these points are. And if I got a spot that was right next to the point but not the point itself, that's when you might feel a little bit more. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really up to your acupuncturist to take the care and the time to understand your individual body, to understand where those points are going to be and how to find them correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the big difference with acupuncture and dry needling. Dry needling, they're sticking needles into the spot of your body that hurts without really taking into account the whole body working together. You might have pain in your shoulder, and I'll put a couple needles in your shoulder, but I might hit a couple in your lower leg as well, because
Mm-hmm.
those
All kind of
connect with the
connect.
meridian and help offer additional support from the rest of the body. And yeah, so it really shouldn't be a painful process at all. It should be very
So
intentional.
I remember a question that I sent you. I
Mhm.
went in my mind and I was like trying to meditate where the questions, and I found it. The last question on there was how when acupuncture is, when you put all the acupuncture in, how does the body
Why does it work?
how, like, what brain, what parts of the brain does it like turn on, if that makes sense? Like what chemicals? Can
Yeah,
you pull that
it
out?
really depends
The
on
phone.
the.
I had a word, how I worded it was so good.
Let's see.
And I just want to say too that when she hits the points that are connected to the meridian that aren't like the actual pain point, she's talking about the shoulder, she might put one in the leg. Actually, like for me, I feel like it's like a gateway channel that then has been opened because I can feel the energy flow differently, and sometimes I'll even feel heat,
Mm-hmm.
like a tingling sensation flowing throughout me. But like that's after I get pain relief.
See, I felt I went. It was like it was kind of. I went on a little. No, I don't want to compare it to that. I wouldn't say tripping, but it was like I went on an adventure. I felt a
It feels like an
number of
altered
things.
state of
It does.
consciousness.
That's
Yeah.
Like, that certain taste of wine where you drink it and every like second you get a new taste of something. You know what I'm talking?
The different notes.
Yeah, that's what I felt during acupuncture. I had a new feeling every 30 some seconds to a minute. And I kept on feeling like layers of energy on me. And it just felt, it was probably one of the most coolest experiences I've ever had when it comes to holistic health. I've never had an experience as cool as acupuncture.
If you continue to get acupuncture, for me, like I've had multiple times where spirit comes to me very easily when I'm in that state, even if I'm not asking for it. So
Yeah.
I have to remember to bubble, because like sometimes there's been many spirits that come to me when I come into that, when she gives me the one point and I'm just like, oh, I'm so relaxed and I'm kind of feeling a little bit out of body. and then spirit's like, oh, let me go ahead and tell you my story. And then let me tell you my story. And I remember that I'm allowed to have that time for my own healing.
I think mediums, when they're with you guys getting acupuncture, I don't think they have to worry about that, because you guys are like this golden bubble of don't talk to them, shut the fuck up. This is healing time. Like,
well, that's exactly it. It's healing time for whoever's on that table, and oftentimes I'll let them have the time and space to themselves. I have relaxing spa music on, white noise machine, so they're not hearing anything outside of the room, and just allow them to relax and hopefully take a nap. And let me tell you, those acu naps are the best.
Next time I gotta try that,
yeah, you'll
because
have to come to the office and just relax.
I do want to start getting acupuncture and doing it like every few months and stuff, because when I had my acupuncture appointment, I was using medical cannabis every night for my PTSD problems and my brain problems. I was diagnosed with depression at a young age, so my brain does not produce dopamine the right amount like it should. I mean, it does a little bit, I feel happy, but not all the time. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So when I had acupuncture done, I didn't feel the need to use medical cannabis for a whole month. Dopamine naturally produced. I had a whole mental reset. That's what acupuncture did for me.
So the question that you were asking actually feeds really nicely into that. And what you had sent over was how acupuncture works, the effects on the body, the brain, and the body responses.
Yeah.
So
see, wasn't that worded so
it was
good?
so nice. So nice. So I worked a lot on your head. I
Yeah.
gave you points on your head. I gave you this one to calm you down, this one, and a couple others on your head. And scalp acupuncture is actually really, really big when helping people with TBIs, traumatic brain injuries, for anyone that doesn't know, for dealing with dementia, Alzheimer's, epilepsy, all sorts of neurological issues. And the reason being is there's your brain, your head, excuse me, not your head is filled with so many different acupoints. And those points correspond with different parts of the brain. So, case in point, I got to witness a case when I was in school. This patient had gone into a lake, gotten a brain-eating amoeba, and lost their vision.
Wow.
Yeah. So different parts of the brain correspond with different functions, right? We have our prefrontal cortex, we have your temporal lobes, parietal lobes. Your vision center, though, is in the back of your head here. So the professional acupuncturist that I had the pleasure of learning from, Dr. Hong Chen is her name, she did a lot in terms of vigorously needling back here. She was very intensely needling back here. This patient wasn't able to see. By the end of me following and watching her over the course of 9 months or so, they were able to see enough to do yard work. They were able to mow the lawn and were unhappy with the fact that they weren't mowing the lawn perfectly straight. But the fact was they were operating machinery that could very easily turn bad if you couldn't see what you were doing. So by stimulating all of the nerves and everything in the back of the brain, it feeds into the visual portion of the brain, kind of kicking it back online, so to speak.
I want to try that back there, because back here, my skull is good. There's a lot of cushion back there too. So I would love to try it back there, because I notice a lot of times when I'm getting triggers, or if I'm getting ready to have a migraine or anything like that's about to be bad or not good, I feel like there's like a wave back here. Like,
you feel pressure back there?
Yeah. And it's almost like, when you hang your head upside down and all the blood goes, it's kind of like that feeling. It feels like something.
It sounds like a rush of chi is going up to your brain, then it's into your head, and it's causing pain.
Yes.
Which acupuncture can help regulate that and prevent your migraine from coming on. With something like that, it would have to be regular treatments that are like once a week.
Well, I will say this: when I had that appointment, I have a migraine every month. Sometime more than just 1 month. Sometimes it's a few days. Sometimes I have one every week, but mainly it's on a schedule of one time a month. It's been like that for a little bit. Sometimes it changes and it goes back. But anyways, long story short, I did not have a migraine the whole month.
Beautiful.
After my acupuncture appointment.
That's awesome.
So that's another thing. Acupuncture really,
it treats so much.
I have so many health problems from my brain injury, and genetics fucked me. So I have a whole list, and acupuncture, all these people take medicines for so many different things. And I was using medical cannabis for a number of my things. And then here I did acupuncture. And I will say medical cannabis, it helps with a lot of my health problems, but not all. Well, acupuncture helps with all of
All
my
of it.
problems.
Amazing. Yeah.
So,
So how acupuncture works is obviously we're hitting these points and they're triggering a response in the body,
Mhm.
right? Some of these points, they're triggering the release of endorphins. They're triggering the production of neurotransmitters, which is a big piece to that anxiety and depression. All of that started in your gut biome. So if your gut biome is off, you're going to have anxiety, depression,
mhm.
all these other mental health type of issues start popping up. So by sticking needles in certain points, it gets to the body's nervous system, endocrine system, and it's like, hey, wake up, start doing your job again. In the basic way of explaining that is if you stick a foreign object into the body, it's sending its immune response, right? Trying to get that out of the body. It's sending blood, it's sending blood cells, all sorts of stuff, your immune system to that point to get that needle, that foreign object out of your body. And in the process, it's providing more nutrition, more nutrients.
So it kind of like comes through the needle, like energetically.
Yes.
Energetically,
yes.
it does.
Energetically, you can lose chi that way. And there's actually special needles that are looped at the end to help the chi loop back and come back in.
Okay. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm. And so if you're having pain in a spot because you're not getting enough, sorry, I'm touching mic there.
You're fine.
You have pain in a spot because, say, the blood flow hasn't been as nice there. Stick a couple needles there. Your immune response can be like, get these needles out. And then it's offering more nutrients and more, just getting everything back online from that one part of the body. Same thing if we're doing it in the brain. If you have tummy problems, acupuncture can treat IBS, fertility. So many different things. If you have an issue, acupuncture can help you, if not be a complementary medicine to what you're using to treat it.
So definitely try acupuncture. If you're someone who has lots of health problems or someone who's tired of being highly medicated, not
even if you're dealing with back pain for a long time. I know for me, like that was the reason why I reached out to her initially, was because I had back injuries that I, basically re-injured, and I don't take opioids, and wanted to, and also have used medical cannabis for pain relief, but I wanted something a step up, because I've received massage.
Did you think cannabis was more of like take the edge off?
Well, cannabis helps in the short term, but if you use it regularly, that helps you in the short term. But acupuncture actually helps
longer term.
Like I have way more pain relief for a lot longer period of time from one session, especially in my back. But like she's helped me with all sorts of issues. Like I've been an adventurous human and have injured my body throughout my life, different things that I've done, and so I feel it. But acupuncture really helps provide with a more long-term pain relief solution, essentially. And you can't get that in a pill.
Yeah.
Because it's stimulating your body to respond to help heal itself, which we all have the capability of doing.
Yeah. I will say, for another thing acupuncture does that I think it could help people is there's so many people in this generation that are so addicted to these vapes. Everyone's vaping.
Yes.
It's mainly because they're addicted to the nicotine,
Yeah.
and it's because they're stressed and they don't know how to handle anxiety.
Absolutely.
So they go and do these vapes. But if they simply got rid of the anxiety problem, I think that would help a lot with the want to vape, because that's what
nicotine's one of the most addictive substances on the planet.
Yeah.
So I've met people who have been addicted to heroin, and they say it's easier to get off of heroin than it is nicotine. So, and I personally am still struggle with a nicotine addiction because I started smoking when I was 15.
Yeah.
But I don't smoke anymore. So, but I have a
vapes.
But I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it because
I
don't want to
haven't
be
treated
addicted.
her for
what?
I haven't treated her for addiction. So I've not. So
well, it's time. Let's do it.
she's got to be ready for it. I can't
So
force that.
when you do the treatment for addiction, that's
Mhm.
from the acupuncture as well.
Yeah.
So-
So with there's
Because
actually
a lot of people talk to me, and that was another big question.
Mhm.
Lots of my friends, they tell me like, Colton, I meditate, I do all the shit, but I can't stop vaping. I need help. It's affecting my life. It's starting to
Yeah.
affect my attitude, my motivation. Some of my friends feel like zombies because they're just that addicted to it. Like they have to do
Yeah.
it every 5 minutes.
Yeah, so if someone was to come on to see me for addiction, it could be nicotine, it could be heroin, whatever the addiction is. Um, I'm going to treat them very similarly. If it's food addiction, that's a little bit different. That goes into some other aspects of how
Mhm.
the
Different
body's
pressure points.
Yeah, but for chemical dependence, there are 5 points in the ear that it's called the NADA protocol, and it's actually been approved by Medicare and Medicaid for people to get acupuncture to treat this. And essentially it's 4 points in the ear or 5 points in the ear, and we can do it, one-on-one, or if people are coming in from a treatment center, it could be a whole group of people where we do community acupuncture, and I just give a few points in each ear, 5 points in each ear to each person. Super simple. They hang out for a half an hour and we're done. If they want to take the treatment with them, I can actually put something called ear seeds, which is like a tiny little seed covered by like a little tiny square band-aid looking thing, and I'll just put that on the point in the ear, and then they can take it home, and when they feel like I have this craving coming up, they can press those points on their ears, and that will trigger the body to help calm the cravings down.
Nice.
Mhm.
So the ear, that was mainly like pressure points to help with addiction too. Like
The
does that
ear actually represents the whole body. So I've treated people, I'll give them points on the body, and then I'll give a couple extra support points in the ear. I've done that for fertility, for pain, for nausea, for memory, for all sorts of things. Yeah, some
nice.
good stuff.
Now let's move on to well first, is there any last things you want to mention about acupuncture? I think we covered
There's
lot of questions. I know there's a lot more, but the specifics, the
for
just
like
the gist.
highlights, for
Yeah.
highlights for acupuncture, I think we did a pretty good job. Like I said before, acupuncture's been around for 4,000 years. If we want to get into the spirituality aspect of it, we definitely can do that. I mean, there's 5-element theory, there's yin yang theory, there's all these fun, almost esoteric ways of looking at the body through the lens
Mhm.
of acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine.
That connect with paganism, connect with Western paganism and a lot of the beliefs and shared ideologies about how body works with nature and how it's part of nature.
Yeah, that's the like fundamental aspect of acupuncture is it is a holistic medicine. And what that means, we're taking a look at the whole body, not just one part. Like I said, might have a shoulder ache and I'm working on your leg. Why? Because the whole body works together. But at the base of it, acupuncture with traditional Chinese medicine, we are nature and nature is part of us. We are not separate from it, even though we've tried to separate ourselves as a species. And the way that we come back to health and wellness is by looking at
let's
nature
let's
again.
break that down. We do separate it. I mean, it's the food that we eat. The foods that we eat
Mhm.
today is so far from.
It's not food,
Well,
it's processed
yeah.
chemical that tastes good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it separates us from nature and
Mhm.
what we do need to be eating, what we need to get
Absolutely.
from. Because us humans, we need lots of herbs. We need to eat a lot of herbs. We need so much stuff from the earth, but we don't.
That's another piece of TCM is, yes, we have the acupuncture portion of it that accounts for maybe 25-30% of TCM on a whole. The rest of traditional Chinese medicine, we're taking a look at moxa, which is burning almost like a cigar shaped thing of mugwort to add warmth to the body, to tonify the yang.
I'm growing mugwort.
Yeah, so we could totally use that for my acupuncture.
Yeah. I'll be saving you some bags because we got
some good stuff.
I have a ginormous bush. I mean, I have so much mugwort. I can get
I wanted to say it, but I was being nice.
It's a big bush.
That's what I've heard.
But the other pieces
I got
of
the
that,
biggest bush, actually.
Wow.
the other piece to that is cupping, which fire cupping, put some fire into a glass cup, pull it out real quick and stick it on the body. And
Do you do that too?
I do that
Oh, it's
too.
so
Wait, what?
amazing.
Okay, so you do acupuncture and
Cupping.
cupping.
Yeah.
And
Reflexology.
Okay, let's go down the list and then we'll say what you do. Okay.
Reiki, QHHT. Do a little bit of everything.
I'm gonna be taking a picture, and right now, as I'm talking, the audience is gonna be seeing these. So first, of course, acupuncture, reflexology, explain.
So you
So
know
this explains
reflexology,
it.
you were talking about the polarity massage and
Yeah,
the
and the
massaging on the
feet.
feet, and how if one part of your foot hurts, it corresponds with a different part of your body. So that breaks it down a little bit more, but you already understand that with the polarity massage.
Oh, I should relieve some of this. Stress, anxiety, pain, low mood, low energy, immunity. What? Fadga?
What?
Fadgu?
What are you looking at?
Fetku? The F word. The F.
Fatigue?
Fatigue.
Yeah.
Fat goo.
Fadgu.
I like that better.
And I'll also put the words on the screen.
Yeah, it helps
So-
out with so much. But then also acupuncture here, it lists all the different things that it can help out with. So that's a pretty lengthy list.
These are cool. You made these?
I made these because when I'm vending and maybe I can't talk to each person individually for hours on end, I can provide them with a ton of information and hopefully
And
easy
then
to
what
read.
is QHHT?
Yeah, QHHT stands for Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. This is a type of hypnosis that was developed by Dolores Cannon, and she was a hypnotherapist for almost 50 years. So before this understanding of past lives and like metaphysical stuff really came online, she was already like laying the groundwork for all
Now,
of this.
is the hypnosis, how do you say that?
Hypnosis?
Hypnosis,
Mhm.
is that kind of, is it the same hypnosis that, like at the fairs, where they'll have a hypnosis come in and they'll like make you, they'll do all
Cluck
these
like a
fun
chicken,
stuff.
jump on a table.
Yeah.
So essentially, if you don't want to be hypnotized, you're not going to be forced to like jump
Yeah.
on a table or anything. That is not how we work. This type of hypnosis is actually helping people get in touch with their higher self or their subconscious mind and understand themselves on a deeper level. So why is this health problem coming up in my life? Why do I keep on getting in the same kind of relationship? These points of contention that we have in our life, maybe we don't understand where it's coming from. QHHT will help you get below the surface and really understand. And how it does that, sometimes you'll take a look at your current life. A lot of times people take a look at past lives that they had.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Because you kind of go in that peaceful state of mind, so it helps you connect more.
yeah, so we're hypnotized several times throughout the day. The state that I take people, it happens to everyone naturally twice a day, right when you wake up and you're remembering the last little bits of your dream, or right before you fall asleep and your thoughts are all scrambled and you're like, how am I even here? And then you fall asleep. That is the theta brainwave state that I take people and sustain them during a
Oh.
session. Right now, we're actively engaged with one another. We're in an alpha brainwave state. If we decided that we just wanted to close our eyes, as soon as you close your eyes, your brain switches over. Sorry, we're in a beta brainwave state as we're talking to one another. Your brain switches over to an alpha
Yeah.
brainwave state. Excuse me. Don't come for me.
Don't come for her, but listen, she is awesome. Like when we're together, she's like, you're the brains of things, and
Thank you.
I love how you can remember so much information and pull it out so easily.
I
Me?
really like if someone's gonna talk to me about anything that I offer, I want to be able to make them feel confident in my knowledge and my
You're
training.
you know your shit. I
She's
will
highly
say
trained.
that. Yeah. She is the spiritual badass. Sorry, Isha, I know that's your name, but it's her too. giving it to her too.
Yeah, so with QHHT, with hypnosis, you know, twice a day we're in that state. If we close our eyes, our brain's trying to kick over and save fuel all the time. It's trying to save energy. So it's going to go into a light form of hypnosis if we close our eyes. If you scroll on your phone, you're getting hypnotized. If you watch a TV for longer than a minute, your brain is going into a light form of hypnosis.
Mhm.
So the way that it goes, is a beta brainwave state where we're actively, you know, engaged with the world around us. And then alpha brainwave state, which is that light form of hypnosis. Maybe if you close your eyes, you're scrolling on your phone, you're watching TV. When you're first getting into your meditation, you're in that alpha brainwave state. And then down to theta, which is where we're waking up or falling asleep. If we get into a really deep meditation, we're going into a theta brainwave state. And then delta is the deepest, and there's others that go even deeper, and that's when we're asleep. So anyone that's like, I can't be hypnotized, sorry to say, you've been hypnotized. You watch TV, you scroll on your phone, you drive from point A to point B, and you forgot how you got there, but you know you did it safely, you're being hypnotized. It merely means your brain is switching brainwave states.
God,
this though,
that is so interesting,
isn't it?
Write a book, please. I like to read.
There's
the books
tons of
I'm reading are
information on
kind
it.
of getting boring. Sorry, Dolly. but
Dolores Cannon wrote, I think, like
Dolly Parton's
19...
book is kind of boring right now.
I think Dolores Cannon, I think, wrote like 19 books altogether. She's got a ton of information on her experiences with QHHT.
So when does your book come out?
When we get a little more settled.
Vote, everyone. Vote in the comments.
And with QHHT, though, a lot of times I'll tell people I do past life regression because they're like, what is QHHT? People understand past life regression hypnosis. That just, oh, yeah, I've heard about that. So-and-so's had that done or whatever it may be. But it is so much more than that because part of a session, you know, we'll go through your past life experience. And then once we're done with that, we actually pull in your higher self. So I tell people
kind of like you out of body experience reflecting on like looking back at yourself type deal. Like,
in a way, yes. So, but another way to look at it is if you had a direct line to source, God, universe, whatever you want to call that energy, what would you ask?
Wow.
Why did I have a TBI? Why did I have to go through that? Why am I dealing with a knee ache? Why
did I go through hell? What was the point of going through it? What was the lesson? What am I going to learn?
Definitely. So when people come in for a session for QHHT, we take at least an hour, try to make it at least, 2 hours where we're sitting down and I want to learn everything about the person that comes in. No judgment. The best parts of
now, are you laying down during that part?
No, we're sitting and like talking like we are now. I want to learn all about this, whoever's coming in to
Can I lay down during our session?
For our session, when I put you under, absolutely. But we're going to chat a little bit more about your life too when we do a session. And by going through and learning about them, it helps people feel more comfortable before we jump into hypnosis. But also it helps me kind of pick out like, oh, you brought this issue up a couple of times.
Yeah.
Let's unpack this a little bit.
Yeah, I'm in the basement, Penny. Yeah, you can come down now.
Does the spirit say I'm going to fall down the steps?
Not if you hang on to the wall.
Do what?
Hang on to the side of the wall and then find that hole. Is Margie here?
Yes, Margie brought me.
Star baby.
What time is it?
It's 4:02.
4:02. Perfect. We're right on time.
Thank you.
All right, let me look at the thing. Hey, bitch at my mom about that one. She's the prepare person. So we just talked about Reiki and acupuncture and stuff.
Acupuncture and QHHT.
So on to Reiki. What is Reiki?
So Reiki is the art of hands-on healing or light touch healing. It can be done distance as well, but essentially a lot of us know the story. I'm not Christian. I'm not trying to preach gospel or anything, but the story of Jesus laying his hands on someone and helping them heal. So Reiki is very similar to that. When I work with someone with Reiki, I'll do an initial scan over their body and I can feel the subtle energy differences with their body.
Mm-hmm.
And when I feel these subtle differences, that tells me what's out of balance, what needs some help, some healing. And then I will use the Reiki energy to help heal that certain part of their body. So a lot of times I feel people in their heart space, so many of us, we're holding on to heartache and
Yeah.
other things that in life we never processed.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times with Reiki, it can help bring that stuff out and let them like just let go of it.
Now, so when you're doing that, that's called Reiki. Is it still Reiki if you're not using the symbols?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
so-
wanting to know that because growing up, when I would do it,
Mhm.
I was told to call it Reiki because that's what it was called.
Yeah.
But then I started hearing about these symbols and stuff and wanting to know a little bit about that.
So Reiki means universal energy.
So it means you're working with energy to
yeah,
heal.
yeah.
That's basically.
So it's Japanese. It started about 100 years ago. Usui Mikao is
Isn't Reiki 2 words? Like Rei is 1 word and
Yeah,
Ki.
yeah. I'll get into all of that. So
Does it say it in here too?
It does. It breaks it all down in there. But Usui Mikao is the gentleman that rediscovered Reiki because it's something that's available to all of us. We can all tap in and use this energy. And so it's a Japanese word, rei, meaning universal, ki being the Japanese for chi, as we were talking about with acupuncture. So that universal life energy, right? And helping bring that energy into the body and balance it where maybe there might be too much energy pooling in one place, balancing it where it goes where it needs to. And essentially there's different aspects of Reiki, different levels that you can train at. With level 1, you get the basis on how to start healing yourself, and you are attuned.
How many levels?
3, sometimes 4, depending on what lineage you're being trained in. So it could be 3 levels plus master, where you're able to start teaching and attuning other people to Reiki.
Is that where you can certify other people?
Yeah. So
Nice.
I say Reiki practitioner because it feels a little like grandiose to be, I'm a Reiki master. And that's not how I just tell people, I'm a Reiki practitioner. And then if they're curious about learning, they'll be like, yeah, and I can teach it too.
I'll be glad to say I'm a master.
So with level 1, though, you get the first symbol called Choku Rei. And where do I have it?
You've came prepared today, though.
Prepared.
Look at all this.
I
You
didn't
guys
put
want
the
to look
symbols in there
at
because the symbols are usually given to someone after they've been attuned. So after they've come to a class and learned. Let me see.
Can I hold that? Oh my God.
There's a lot of
so
information
pretty.
here. Let's see.
Do you have a colored printer?
Yes, we do. And actually,
I can't wait to come over next time.
Yeah, there's some good stuff. But this is the packet that I give to people for level 1. And it has the Reiki principles, which is just for today. I will let go of anger. I will let go of worry. I will give thanks for my many blessings. I will do my work honestly. I will be kind to my neighbors and every living being.
You read that upside down.
I read that upside down, so I was like, ooh.
So she's not only gifted, she can also read upside down.
Highly skilled.
So
highly skilled.
With Reiki level 1, this has all the history in it and everything.
You might have some babies, Penny.
Sure.
There is the Choku Rei,
I gotta find the mail first.
which is almost looking like a 7 with a bunch of swirls on here. And what this stands for is each time the swirl crosses over the middle line, it represents one of the chakras.
Nice.
This is the Choku Rei, and you can use it this way or the opposite way, and it will help increase or decrease energy.
So this is the symbol?
That's the symbol.
So
many
show me how you would do that. Or do you have... Okay.
I put it in my palms.
You put it in your palm.
And this is how I start.
I see you do that a lot. Every
Yeah.
time, like when you're driving, when there's like stuff going on the road and you want traffic to settle down, she'll be doing like these symbols in the air, and then out of nowhere you see traffic just
calms down.
I do it too. She attuned
down.
me a couple years ago, and so I also use Reiki, and I do it too. And actually, it was like 2 days ago, there was a truck
Is
that
that right?
was riding a line, like a big semi.
Almost into us.
Almost into us. And so I threw up some Reiki.
Pull out
and
your
went
shit
like
real
this,
fast.
I went like this, and the truck immediately moved over. I was like, that's right.
That's right, bitch. I'm a Reiki master.
I will move you with energy. Thank you.
So yeah, I'll put the symbol in my hand, and that kind of activates the Reiki
Yeah.
in my hands. Sometimes it will just turn on by itself, but then I put it in my hands, bring it to my heart, bring it to my third eye, and back to my heart, just to kind of like turn everything on for myself.
Get
right?
it
Get
all
myself
aligned
in
with
that.
your body.
Yeah,
Get it flowing.
That one is basically like an on switch of. It can be used for so much, and this one it shows you the two different ways.
So
that you
it
can use it.
basically it kind of looks like a music note.
Yeah, it looks like a music note, and it can increase or decrease energy. So say you have a chakra, your heart chakra is way too open, you're giving to people who don't deserve it. I would want to close that down a little bit.
My
I would
mom
do
does
it the
that.
opposite way.
She needs heart chakra help.
She needs some help with her
She
heart
gives-
chakra.
all need heart chakra.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, Margie does too. Just gives too much, gives
Mhm.
too much, and forgets to save a little piece for themselves.
Yeah, so that would be having too open. You're leaking all this energy, and it's leaving you depleted. We want to close that so it's more balanced. So you can still give to people, but you know when to say no.
Yeah.
And like start forming.
And you
those
don't get caught
boundaries.
up in the moment and constantly give everything to
Exactly.
that person you're helping.
Exactly. So that's the first, like, level one kind of brief synopsis. You can use it to protect things that you don't want to have be stolen. If someone comes in to get a Reiki session with me, I seal up my whole session with this one after I go through and like organize and help balance their energy, cleanse
Now-
their aura and everything.
that's
I'll
same.
go through with a big choku ray over them to help protect and seal in all of their energy. So when they go out in the world, they're on a like, nice little bubble. There's other symbols
Just put it there.
depending on the level that you are in. So for level 2, we start moving outside of ourselves and we start moving to other people. So with that, a lot of times we're dealing with people's emotional stuff. We're
Mhm.
dealing with people who may not be right here that we can work on. So for helping with emotional stuff, that symbol is called Seiheki. It's somewhere in this mess right now. I'm not going to pull that out.
We'll pull it up on the screen.
Yeah, I'll send all that to you. But Seiheki is this symbol for emotional healing. So we tend to hold a lot in our hearts, but also a lot in our sacral chakra, which is our
Where your
emotional-
bladder is, Penny.
I know where my bladder it leaks.
Well, Reiki might be able to help you. If not,
Okay.
acupuncture can help you with that.
I've read also acupuncture helps a lot with when it comes to incontinence problems.
Yes, yeah. There's
So-
all sorts of things. There's a whole bladder channel. So, and it's the largest one with the most points on it.
Mhm.
But Seiheki is to help with healing people emotionally, and then Haja Zen Shonen. That one's quite a mouthful.
Wait, I want to say that Haja Senanen. Did I say it?
Han
Han
Sha
Sha
Han Sha Ze
Han Sha Ze
Sha
Sha
Nen
and
Nen.
I can't remember it all.
And that
Can
one.
you say it? Ha Sha Ze Na Nen.
Ha Sha Zen Shonen.
Okay.
That Reiki symbol is to help people who are distant. So I could actually give someone across the world Reiki. And I've done this where they've been across the
I've
country
got
and they will
Reiki
feel it.
treatment from a lady in California before.
Did you
on
feel it?
Zoom. I felt it. It was
Yeah.
the weirdest shit.
She was using that symbol to tap
Yeah.
into your energy, because if you think of string theory, we're all connected in some form. This is essentially taking the string that is connected to the person that we're working with and being able to focus on that.
Nice.
This is also a really great symbol because not only can it work on someone distantly, you can actually go back to certain points in time or go forward in time to different, like, yes, we're in this current moment, but if you need to heal a point that's
Happened
not-
in your past.
Mhm. Or you know something hard is coming up, you can tap into that point of time with this Reiki symbol. So what I did for myself personally along my healing journey, once I got attuned to this Reiki symbol, I went to myself when I was an infant, when I was 1, 2, 3, all the way through all of my years, and I sent myself Reiki to every single time.
So you can heal your past because your brain
Yeah.
holds it like a file.
Your body holds on to everything that's ever happened to us.
So even when you think you don't remember being a baby, your body does somewhere. It holds that memory.
Definitely. And actually QHHT can help you with the baby memories if you
Yeah.
ever want to do that. So
I'm good. I'll leave a couple out.
Yeah, really. But Hajas and Shonen, I have used, like, I've had people that are like, send me Reiki. I'm about to do this really intense Reiki session and I need backup. And I'll go through my day. I'll be like, yeah, I'll do it. And then I go through my day and I forget. And I'm like, oh no, what do I need to do? Oh, I'll just tap into that moment. They're going into that
Do that
session.
little symbol thing.
Mm-hmm. What I like to do when I'm working on people, though, because your energy doesn't lie. If you let me put my hands over you or like touch you, I can start getting your life story and you don't have to tell me a word. And I like to look through people's Rolodex of memories, not like every single memory, but like kind of see like, oh, your body shows that at 3 years old, you had this injury and it's impacted you emotionally ever since. Go through the Rolodex, 3 years old, this is the event. I'll pull it up with that symbol and then send Reiki and like a buffer to that experience. So when we put it back in the Rolodex, it changes the way your energy flows surrounding that event.
Nice. So what is all of the names of the different symbols?
There's
Reiki?
so many different symbols, but we'll stick with those three.
Those three. What was all the three again?
The first one is Choku-rei.
Choku-rei.
Seiheki is the second one.
Seiheki.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the last one is Hanshaza Shonen.
Say it.
That one 5 times fast.
I can't say that one time fast.
But yeah, there's all different lineages of Reiki, different types of Reiki. There's like holy fire Reiki.
We need some holy fire Reiki in this cold room.
Right? Warm it up.
They have American Reiki as well.
Maheo.
Symbols.
Mm-hmm. And that works a lot.
So
with
we'll
the
have to do
elements.
another podcast where we go through a shit ton of symbols
there's
because
so
I
much.
think that's interesting.
Yeah. And a lot of times people can work with the symbols, but it's a lot more potent when you have someone attune you to it and teach you how to use it properly. You can read anything, but until it's done action-wise, it's not as powerful, right?
Yeah. Okay, let's move on from Reiki. Thank you so much for watching this episode. It was really fun hanging out with Christine and Mariam. Now, there will be a part 2 of this episode airing next week. We couldn't do it all in one episode because we ran out of time. But the second part of this episode will be next week on episode 3, season 1. The other part will be all about tarot cards, and Christine will be giving small readings during the episode. So it's a really good episode. I can't wait for you guys to see it. Again, thank you so much, Mariam and Christine, for being a part of my podcast. I'm so happy to have you guys on again sometime in the future. And for my audience, I hope you guys enjoy this episode.